Hello, my friends. Welcome to my studio this evening. Welcome to tonight is Wednesday Night Live here in my studio in Seattle, Washington area. And I am live streaming tonight instead of tomorrow evening because tomorrow is my brother's birthday and he is in town and we're going to actually spend time with him as a family tomorrow night. But I really wanted to still live stream tonight and share some music with you, and also a really special surprise that I am just very excited to talk about. And I often touch my heart and then I invariably hit the mic. Sorry, so if that was loud, sorry. But I'm very excited to share this with you. So I'm going to play probably another song or two, and then I'm going to share excerpts from an interview that just got released from my friend's podcast. It's called Titans of Transition. And my friend Joe Miller is the podcast host, and he invited me to be able to share my story, which was such a pleasure. It was such an honor. And so I thought it would actually be fun to share excerpts of that interview with you, as well as let you know where you can take a listen to it and actually learn more. So before we do that, I'm going to play one more song for you. And let me know in the chat if you're either watching here live or on the replay. Let me know what you're doing as you are listening, and I just want to warmly welcome you. I'm so glad you're with me tonight. So I just feel like I'm going to doodle around in the key of A major. We'll see what happens. And hello, Heriberto. Good to see you. Doing well. Very well. Thank you for being here with me tonight. Well, hello. A very warm welcome to all of you tonight, and I'm so glad you're with me. And hello to Erin McCracken from Florida. Awesome. And Erin says hello to you too, little Miss Willow. Sometimes Willow likes to jump up, and you just never know. So sometimes the hand cam becomes the kitty cam. But Willow, I'm going to change position because I'm about to share some fun stuff. I don't know if you'll stay. We'll see. We shall see. But friends, I have some really fun special news to share, which is I just had my very first video podcast experience as a guest, and I had the privilege of joining my friend Joe Miller's podcast called Titans of Transition. And this show is a very special one, and I actually felt very honored that he wanted to invite me to come and share my story, because I would say most of his guests that come on have had many wonderful experiences within their careers of a varied sort. There's a lot of wisdom that's shared on that podcast, and I would really recommend and highly suggest that you take a listen, that you give him a follow. And the best way to find his work is to go to Titans, like we are the Titans, you know, titansoftransition.com. And he has all of the links, or you can just search that in. And specifically the episode that we had together, if you look at the title, or for the title, Connecting Through Music, I think that's what it is, you will be able to find this recent release that he just did. So what I want to do now is I'm going to turn over to a split screen, and I just want to share little excerpts of my friend Joe Miller. And before I do that, actually, I just wanted to share a quick little story. Hey Joe, good to see you. Hello. Welcome to Wednesday Night Live this week, I should say. And I wanted to just say that before, or the way that this actually came about was also through music, and also not just through any music, but a dear friend of mine who has also been one of my most important influences growing up, Michael Gettle. So Michael, I just want to say thank you so much for inspiring me as a young person, and it was because of you and watching an interview that you did with Joe in Titans of Transition that I happened to connect with Joe. So pretty special. And I'm going to actually skip around a little bit in this podcast, and we'll see if she stays. I don't know, Willow, will you stay? Oh, you did. How about that? So I'm actually going to go ahead and turn over to a split screen, and I want to share just a couple excerpts with you from this podcast. But now that I say that, I actually need to turn the volume up. I might lose her. That's okay. Sorry, Willow. So I want to be able to hear along with all of you. That's kind of important. There we go. All right. So here is our first excerpt from the show that we just had together with Joe.
But listen, I'm really happy to have you on, and we can talk about how we got to know one another.
Sorry. There we go.
But I think one of the things that I really appreciate about your work, and then you as a pianist, another.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go.
Well, thanks for filling in that gap. But listen, I'm really happy to have you on, and we can talk about how we got to know one another. But I think one of the things that I really appreciate about your work, and then you as a pianist, a composer, and your YouTube work, is that the fact that you're really a connector. And what I wanted to do to start out the episode is to dive into your why statement. Can you share that why statement with us and tell us where it came from?
Oh, I'd love to. I have for a long time now said that music is a bridge, and that it allows me to connect with people I wouldn't normally have the opportunity to meet. And I find that often when I'm sharing music, the stories that come from people's experience with the music come to their heart, and they start sharing. And so strangers become friends in just a very short amount of time. And this has happened over and over, not only now in person, but also online during live streams, and even sometimes in the comments of social media posts or videos I make. And but there's a lot of neat detail and color that continues to come. But the music is a really unique way. In fact, when I was probably 14 or 15, we had a group from Zimbabwe come and stay at our house. And this one lady was talking to me. Her name is Pastor Hal. And she said, I see you walking on music notes to other places and to other hearts. And I've never forgotten that. And I think that's a very astute way to describe how I feel.
I think
it gives me more boldness to go into places too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think some would call that prophetic.
Indeed.
Yeah, but I also I saw you online several times. You're into live streaming big time. What's the name of your YouTube channel?
So my main YouTube channel is Kelsey Lee Cate, Kate with a C.
Okay.
And that's the host YouTube channel, and then my live stream that I started in June 2020, right in the middle of the pandemic, is called Thursday Night Live. And its kind of sister name I tried out for a while was Peaceful Piano Live, but I think I've moved back to Thursday Night Live. And it's usually around 7 o'clock Pacific, and it's fun to look back and see all of the different iterations since I first began. And we moved houses, we've created the studio twice now, and it's been a really special experience.
So there's been a lot of changes and transitions, one of them obviously being from coming from the pandemic, as you just had said, but also, you started out doing a lot of live performance in malls and other venues, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, I don't know how far back you want me to go, but
Go all the way if you want.
Well, growing up, there's always music in the house, the piano in the home, and my siblings and I play. We would play in church together, and then also in our house. There's a violin and a cello, and then guitars, and I have a hammered dulcimer. We've got different woodwinds, so we just love to try different textures and playing together. So that was my start, and I actually learned how to improvise sitting next to our worship leader after church, and everybody was packing stuff up, and I was probably 10, and I remember she came and sat on the left side of the piano, and she said, Kels, her name's Andrea Baker. Love you, Andrea. And she said, I'm going to play something in the bass, and then I want you to just play whatever you want. And so she did a little chord progression, and I started playing along. And I remember feeling so excited and also amazed that I could make my own music. And so I was making music from when I was really little. We listened to a ton of music all the time growing up. And then I was in classical piano lessons all the way from 5 till middle of high school, and all the while being involved with worship teams. So learning how to play with other musicians, listening for the sweet spot of where does the piano belong in the midst of all of the other instruments. And then also incorporating the sound of the whole band as a pianist, trying to have that be a puzzle of how do I try to incorporate those elements when I'm a solo pianist. And then I started playing in restaurants, and particularly one of my favorites was playing at the Sky City restaurant up at the Space Needle. And that I did for a good long time before the restaurant closed for renovation. And so there's other parts of the story, but what I'm currently doing is still one of my favorite gigs at Bellevue Square Mall in downtown Bellevue.
Yeah, so again, you're outside of Seattle, and that's where you're connecting in from.
Yes,
yeah,
from Seattle.
There. You grew up there?
Yeah, more or less. We grew up in the country, Carnation, and then moved to Bothell. So Bothell, Everett is where we are.
So I'm going to skip around just a little bit more so that I can find a couple little other anecdotal things to share with you, and then I'll get back to some more music. But I just wanted to say, that's a funny smile of mine.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
there you go. That's
classically trained.
That's better. Excuse me. So this is really special to me to be able to share this with you all, because there have been so many times I've had these little stories in my mind, and occasionally I share them here on the live stream. But there have been times where I've thought about sharing these stories, and it's been I'll think about how would I actually share this story? How would I really convey how much this really means to me? And I love, Joe, that you're here, that you're able to be with us as I'm sharing and actually doing a little bit of an expose of this here, because seeing these stories through the lens of somebody else really helps me to know how to better share, because I realize there's a lot of stories that I don't really share as often, and they're really worth telling, and because they have a really important piece of inspiration for other musicians as well. And so with that in mind, I actually wanted to skip to another part here where I actually am sharing about how I met this precious family that joined me at the collection. And I believe it is, is it here? Joe, I should have gotten your timestamps. This is funny, I haven't memorized yet. Okay, I think this is it right here. So I'm gonna pop over to this section. Also, if you're just joining, welcome to my studio and my live stream this week. I'm so glad that you're with me, and it's normally Thursday night live, but tonight is Wednesday because my brother is here in town and his birthday is tomorrow, so we're gonna celebrate him. But I really wanted to share about this with you because this is so fun, so special. And to answer my husband's question, do you like watching yourself on camera? It is weird, but I realize that it allows me to share the stories with you. So there you go. It is a little weird, but that's okay. Okay, so here we go. Here's the next part.
I listened to that CD a lot on my little CD player on the bus. I thought it was so cool, Joe, with my earphone for me. And I don't remember what we talked about. Probably 9, and I was holding a new Build-A-Bear I just made under my arm, and I stopped and listened. And my mom and I were alone. It was a mom-daughter date, and I remember how special I felt that Lori took the time to talk to me. And she looked me straight in the eyes, and I don't remember what we talked about, but then Mom asked, "Do you have a CD?" And she did. So we went to the counter and we bought it, and she signed it for me. And I remember, I listened to that CD a lot on my little CD player on the bus. I thought it was so cool, Joe, with my earphones, listening to solo piano as a 5th grader. But that moment of giving, being able to be that inspiration for so many precious young ones. And I loved how that story started on the live stream, and then they came to connect in person. And I've stayed connected with their family, and thanks to their father, Frank, and being able to stay present. And I love to tell people that come, especially from a place in public where the mall is just, you walk by and you're surprised by music. And I say, I also live stream. And so if you want, you can say hi, let me know your kiddo's name in the chat, and I'll say hi on camera.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's connection.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love it.
Oh, I love that. And that little story I just told was really one of my very first experiences, being able to talk with a pianist out in public who's performing. And I remember seeing pianists in the past doing that, but not really in that way where I could talk to them. And I remember feeling so butterfly excited and kind of nervous, and also really just amazed. In fact, I felt so special. I think special is the right word. And so I like to think about how that maybe is how I help other people, especially kiddos, to feel. I hope that they feel special. They feel important as they come to the piano and I'm talking with them and sharing songs with them and asking them if they play. That is so gratifying to me. And I really do believe that music is a bridge and allows me to connect with so many folks, which is just amazing. So this whole episode is about 45 minutes long, and if you go to my link in my bio, If you are on Facebook, if you're watching from there, you can go onto the link tree that's there, and it's the top linked video. Otherwise, if you search Connecting Hearts Through Music on the Titans of Transition podcast, and it's the most recent upload there, you'll see it. You'll see a thumbnail of me with little Meryl, and it's really sweet. So I'll actually put his website here in the chat, Titans of Transition.com. And if you go there, you'll see all of the links. So now what I'd love to do, and Joe, yep, you're right, you're tracking with me. So I want to just rewind a tad to where I share about this precious family that I had a chance to meet. And I think it's right here. And I may jump around just a little bit. If I do, I apologize. But now I want to connect to one of those stories where I actually had the opportunity to inspire not just one young lady, but her family. And it's so fun. We're still connected. So give me just a quick sec. I'm going to find it and I'll share it with you.
And I was probably 9, and I was really. And years later, just a couple months to provide a live stream along little elements of that happened. This was July and August of 2020. Yes. Canlis decided to provide a live stream alongside their suppers that they were selling. They were so ingenuitive, everything that they did during the pandemic, and they're a wonderful upper echelon restaurant here in the Seattle area. Come visit. It's such a beautiful area, Joe. You and Barb would love to have you. And I remember during one of the live streams, there was the sweetest comment from a Frank Guanco who said, "My little girl Meryl is here in the chat and she loves your shoes." And that is how a sweet little story, little friendship began really. And years later, just a couple months ago, they brought their whole family. Frank and his wife, and then Meryl and her brother Holmes came. And so Frank and Sarah are watching their kids standing by the piano at the mall, and Meryl is much taller now, a couple years later, and she what I love about moments like that is being able to give other young musicians an opportunity that I had growing up. And I remember, Joe, going to Nordstrom, and there's a pianist there. Her name's Lori Z. And I was probably 9, and I was holding a new Build-A-Bear I just made under my arm. And
so there you go. That's the connection there. And I'm just so grateful for those kinds of experiences to be able to reflect on. And Joe, I want you to know that as I was reflecting even on how that conversation with you went, I shared this with my mom and my dad, actually my whole family, and my mom said that she just felt so relaxed and it was comfortable, and she felt like if she didn't know us, she would have wanted to get to know us more, which is so cool. Well, she doesn't know you, but if she didn't know me as well, she would have wanted to get to know me. And I think that's really a testament to the way that you ask questions and the way that you help every guest that you have on the show, not just me, but everyone to feel comfortable and seen. And this is just a real gift that you have to interview people and to ask questions. And so I just want you to know I was taking notes from you also as an interviewer and how you were asking questions. So thank you very much for this opportunity to connect with you and to share my story. And I actually would like to stop there and share some more music and before I end the live stream for tonight, but I would love to revisit this next time. And I want to share a little backstory about my connection with Michael Gettle, the pianist, who really, he was very key in helping me to explore how to play by ear just by listening to his music growing up as a kid. And so what's really special is that Joe here is actually a really, really good longtime friend of Michael, and they used to play worship back together, or worship team back. I think, did you play the bass or the guitar, Joe? I don't quite remember. I think it was bass. But pretty amazing to hear that connection and how that all started way back when. Well, not way back when, but for far enough to where I know that you also helped to plant seeds of encouragement in Michael's journey as well, Joe. So you are a gardener of encouragement. Let me say that again. You are a gardener of encouragement, my friend. And I look forward to sharing more of this story next time. And thank you very much, friends, for taking the time to listen with me, whether you're watching live here or on the replay. And it sure is special to be able to reflect and to feel, or just to be reminded of the impact that we can have on each other. And if you are interested to think about this further, there's actually a book that a sweet friend of mine recently shared with me called The Butterfly Effect. And I actually ordered it, read it, and then gave it to my mother-in-law for her birthday. And it talks about how there's this study somebody did, and I don't know all the details or whatever, so this is more anecdotal. But the premise of the title of this book was that when a butterfly flutters its wings somewhere, the impact of that one little blow of air is magnified as it continues to travel, and can actually cause major wind later on, like further down, like to the tune of a tornado or something like that, if I'm remembering correctly, in a positive way. So where one little flutter, how the take-home message is how we impact each other with one little move that we make, and we think it's so small. But the butterfly effect, the way that we impact other people who impact others, is amazing. It is so powerful. So I just wanted to encourage you, and with that, I'm going to share a little bit more music. But what you do matters. And even if you feel like you're a small cog in a really large wheel, whatever you do, that you, and the way that you see the world, the way that you connect and interact with other people, is unique and so vital. We need you. And I hope that you keep leaning into the way that you are uniquely designed, my friend, because there's only one you, and I hope that you are inspired to create like you. And that's the whole premise for what I do here, is to hope to use music as a way to connect. And I was sharing that, and actually that's the title of this episode, is Connecting Hearts Through Music. So with that, I'm going to share some more music with you, just a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream for tonight. But I did want to let you know, because I just got my schedule for September for the Bellevue Square Mall. And that's actually the place that Meryl's family came and said hello. And if you're in the Seattle area, I would love to see you. And I play from 1 to 5 p.m. At the Bellevue Square Mall, and it will be September 15, 22, and 29. Those are all Fridays. And I'm also live till 5, where I put my phone right here to the left of me by the piano, and I live stream usually about an hour. So stay connected with me on social media if you want more details. But the 15th, 22nd, and 29th, those are all Fridays, will be when I share music there live in September. So with that, if we're just meeting each other and you'd like to stay connected, a really great way to do that is to visit my website, which you see here at the bottom of the screen, kelseyleemusic.com. And I have a newsletter you're welcome to join, and I post when I play on my schedule there, as well as on social. So I'd love to hear from you. Feel free to say hello in the chat if you'd like to. And oh, hello, David Noki. Good to see you. Glad you're here. And yeah, so I'm going to be sharing more of the music, more of the stories. I'm actually inspired to share more stories as well. So you'll probably see more of those as we go, which is awesome. Thank you very much, Joe, for all of your inspiration, for your time and your intention in the way that you share encouragement with so many people. And I feel encouraged, and your I would say hummingbird, not just butterfly effect, but what you do definitely has a beautiful effect on down the line. Thank you very much for all that you do. And with that, I'm going to share just something that I feel like reflects this. I don't really have anything planned yet, but we will see what comes out. Oops, forgot to turn off my audio. Sorry. There we go. I think I'm going to call that the butterfly effect. I'm going to have to develop that a little bit. Thankfully, I record all of these so I will remember what I wrote, what I did, but I really like that little theme, and the theme that keeps coming back is kind of like that flap of the wing. So stay tuned. When I eventually release that, when I do the butterfly effect, you will know what that was from, the story of that. So my friends, thank you so much for joining me. And David Noki says that he's just finishing up a new composition. I would love it if you'd share it with me after it's recorded. That's awesome. Congratulations. It sure is exciting to write new music and to see new things take flight. And so that is awesome. Very awesome. Hello, Mariana. Good to see you. I hope that you guys are doing well. I appreciate that you're joining me tonight. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Linda. Hello. Welcome, welcome. And Joe, yes, okay, you played electric. Sorry, I knew it was one of the stringed instruments. All right, my friends. Well, great to see you tonight. Thank you for joining me, whether live or on the replay. If you are watching on the replay, please feel free to say hey in the chat. Whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, I'd love to hear from you. God bless, my friends, and I will see you next time.